Guys, we are delighted to announce that we are working with the one and only One Football app where you can follow your favourite team, your favourite leagues, and of course, get in game notifications straight to your device.
And guys, that is not all. One Football are now offering people in the UK and Ireland the chance to watch selected match highlights and live games from some of the best leagues in the world. I'm talking Serie A, La Liga, Liga Portugal, and the DFB Pokal, including a Saturday night live Serie A game. So what more could you want? What are you waiting for? Head down to the link in the description below and download the One Football app.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. And it's already week 11 of our Premier League predictions. We are really getting through the weeks. Guys, do us a favour. As always, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And Scott, I'm going to throw it straight over to you for the first game, as always.
Yes, let's get into it. And we're talking about Brentford taking on Brighton. And I think I said a few weeks ago that I started to fear for Brentford, rather. And I think a few people at the time maybe thought, what are you on about? If I remember rightly, I actually put them to finish in the relegation zone in my predictions as well at the start of the season. Things not looking so good, obviously, in the last few results. And we come onto a Brighton team that, so far, one win, one loss. With their new manager, obviously. But it does have to be said that it was only a 1-0 loss to Tottenham. And to be honest, I don't think Tottenham looked much the better team either. So I do think this can only go one way, to be honest. And I know Brentford are at home, and yes, their home record much better than their away. But I'm still going to back the away team. I really don't see Brighton massively taking off their foot off the pedal, even with the loss of Graham Potter.
Yeah.
I think their new manager has come in, done really well and started well. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Brighton.
I think I'm going to go 1-0 to Brighton. I think it's going to be a cagey game. And yeah, Brentford, no wins in the last three, 2 defeats, 1 draw. It's not good. Coming up next is Leicester. They are taking on Palace, and Palace, with that much needed victory over Leeds, they were really starting to slip down to the table. I think they started last weekend one place above the relegation zone. You go back to that famous win against Liverpool at the start of the season. Núñez gets sent off. It's really been difficult for them since then. And speaking of difficult, Leicester, wow. You go 1-0 up against Bournemouth, and you somehow find a way to concede 2 second-half goals and you lose the game. And Rodgers is still there. He looks like he's going to be there for many months to come, all you Leicester fans. Scott, I'm going to go with Palace. I am, just because the run that Leicester are on now. I've just got to go Palace. I think they'll do it again. I think I'm going to go 2-1.
I mean, the one thing I would say about Palace is they have a lot of exciting players that can score goals. The likes of Lassie, you've got Eze, you've got Zaha, the list goes on. They've got a very exciting young team as well. And I think because of that, you look at Leicester and they like to ship goals. I can't see that discontinuing in this game. So I think they do get a goal. They might even get 2 at home. You know what? No, I'm going to go 3-1 to Palace in this one. And I do think it'll be Brendan Rodgers' last game. Let's now move on to 2 teams that came up. Fulham and Bournemouth, and neither team are really behaving like the teams that came up. Historically, the teams that came up over recent times have always been in a relegation battle. To be fair to them, neither of those teams look set for a relegation battle, not just with the results they've been getting, but the way they're playing as well. I did say on last week's predictions, I fear for Fulham without Mitrovic, and that was kind of proven further at last weekend's results. The Mitro effect, the loss of him, he's the focal point of the team, which I think without him, I probably would have gone for a Fulham win, especially at home. But I think without him, they may struggle a bit. And Bournemouth playing really well, really tough team to beat. I think it's 5 unbeaten now, might even be 6. I think it's 5 unbeaten. I am going to go for a shared point. I'm going to go for 1-1 in this game.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad prediction, to be honest. Again, I don't want to agree with you, but I think I might. Actually, no. Just to be different, I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2 apiece. Wolves versus Forest next. And if there are 2 teams in the league that need a win, it is these 2 sides. For Wolves, abysmal. The first game without Large, we lose 3-0 to Chelsea. If you saw my video, the last video we did, I think Wolves are down, Scott. We are Wolves fans. I don't see how we score 25 goals this season, never mind 30. I think we're done. For Forest, it's not good. Minus 15 goal difference for them already. They did get a draw at the weekend against Villa. They played all right, but you just wonder, is their defence going to be the reason that sends them down this season? Scott, if we lose this game, that is it. That is it. And I can't see us winning. Morgan Gibbs-White is coming home to the Molineux, a place where he's had a lot of nightmares. I think he's going to put on a show. Do you remember what Lingard did against us when he was at West Ham? I think Forest do us, and I think they do us 2-0. I'm being serious.
Yeah, it could be the game that these guys turn up and Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't think he's had an amazing effect at Forest at the moment. I'm already seeing tweets about his attitude, losing games.
He got the assist at the weekend, though. Didn't he get the assist, if I'm not mistaken?
He did, sorry, yes. So maybe that is a turning point for him.
Yeah.
Turning point for him, just coming into this game against Wolves. I'm not going to go as negative as you, but I do think I still see Forest conceding, but I think Forest get a goal as well. I'm going to go for another 1-1, actually. 1-1 is my score prediction. Now, let's move on to Spurs taking on Everton. Now, Everton obviously had a bit, they've had a bit of an uplift in form. And, of course, they come up against Man United in the last games week. One thing that might be disappointing for them, they were at home. They did lose to United, but also were less than 40% possession in that game. I mean, maybe away from home, that's not too bad, but maybe at home against United, I don't know. I think maybe 40% isn't a great stat. Again, Spurs, and I think you've said this on a few of your predictions, Spurs, they still feel like they've got another few gears for me that they've still not seeming to achieve. And I'm wondering if they do realistically have more gears that can go up, or whether actually we've all misjudged them. And in fact, that they're in fifth gear already and there's not another one to go up. But I feel there's still more to come from Spurs. I really do. This is going to be a hard game, but I think because Spurs are the home team, I could honestly see this going either way, but I am going to back Spurs and I'm going to say 2-1 to Spurs.
I'm going to say 3-1. I think they'll turn up this week. I think they will.
Is that just because you don't want to agree with me?
Don't want to agree with you. But I think they'll score goals. Next up is Villa versus Chelsea. The Midlands clubs are not giving us any pride, are they? Leicester, Forest, Wolves, Villa. We're not doing brilliantly. Although Villa are doing the best out of everyone, you could say. They are 16th, but it's only one win in 5. They're coming up against a Chelsea team. And Chelsea has sort of come out of nowhere, because in the back of my mind, I'm still seeing Chelsea as a team that have really had a bad start to the season. But they've won 4 of their last 5. So they are starting to now tick. I think that Potter is going to get the job done again. Just see a convincing win, even though it's at Villa Park. And I don't think there'll be goals, not many goals. I'm going to say 2-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah, you think Gerrard will probably set up defensively here once again. He's called on his attackers to do more, and they probably should do more. But I think you've also got to look at the way that Gerrard's playing at times. Maybe isn't helping them out. And I don't think realistically with what Villa want to achieve, he can just keep sitting and getting these draws. But I don't see him getting anything out of this game. And as you say, I think Graham Potter, we've waited a long time for an English manager to be given another top job. And I think he's doing a very good job of it, and he will continue to do so. So I'm going to actually go for a 2-0 victory to Chelsea in this one. Let's move on to Leeds taking on Arsenal now. And I mean, Arsenal, we said in the last predictions, this was a chance for them to answer, the questions around them. Are they serious title contenders? I think if you maybe being a little harsh, you maybe look at the game and think, there's questions around a penalty situation, for example. But watching that game, they dominated long periods of it. And one thing I found really promising, if you're an Arsenal fan, is the fact that they also managed to hold out. They were held out strong against that Liverpool team. Forward, go back to 12 months ago, you maybe think they go into that dressing room actually having lost the game, or maybe even drawn the game, because they just didn't have the capability to hold out. Martinelli looking great, Saka's looking great, Jesus looking great, Odegaard. They've got players now that don't need to turn up every game because someone will turn up. And I think that's really promising. They come up against the Leeds team who,
not
I
great.
just think it's going to be very mid-table. I don't think they're going to be in any bother this season, to be honest. I don't see them getting dragged into a relegation battle. I feel like they're too good a team for that now from what I've been seeing of them. But at the same time, I don't see them being a team that goes and pushes on for Europe. And I think it's never an easy game going to Ellen Road, but I am going to say that Arsenal do get the win. I can only see an Arsenal win, and I think it will be a 2-1 victory.
No winning 5 for Leeds. They've got to be careful. I think, like you, I think they'll finish around that 15th, 14th, 13th position. They could get dragged in though. You've got to be careful when you don't win in 4 games, then 5, then 6. Those runs really can deflate confidence. Arsenal, yeah, unbelievable. I said 3-1. It was 3-2. I mean, it could have been 4-4, 5-5. It was a great game of football. I think Arsenal get the job done. I really do. And yeah, I think 2-1's not a bad score line. To be fair, I don't want to agree with you. I'm gonna go 2-0. No, just to spite you. I'm gonna say 2-0. Arsenal clean sheet. Next up is United against Newcastle, and this has that kind of premium fixture feel, doesn't it? I don't know, like I wasn't watching football in the mid-90s, obviously, but the stories, the Premier League years, the classic matches that you see fighting for the titles. And even though Newcastle haven't been what they've wanted to be for a long time, this fixture has a little bit of sparkle to it. United go into this game having won 4 of their last 5. Big win at the weekend, beating Everton at Everton. That's an amazing result considering where they started the season. They've beat Everton away. They've beaten Arsenal. They've beaten Liverpool. Things are looking right. For Newcastle, unbeaten in 4, 2 wins, 2 draws. So this is going to be a hard one. It's at Old Trafford, but these days and these years, that's not always, the thing that it was when we were growing up. It was a fortress, wasn't it? I think I might give Newcastle a draw here. If Guimaraes, what a game he had at the weekend. If he can turn it on again, I might go for goals. I might say 2-2. I'm going to say 2-2.
That's not a bad score prediction. And to be fair, I think the glory days are starting to come back with Newcastle. I think there's a really good feel around the place. And you've made a good point. United have got a bit of a good run themselves. I'm going to go shot result, though. I am going to go Newcastle. I'm going to go for the away team. I think to pull off a big one. I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1. I think it'll be a case United push for the draw and get hit on the counter. So that's my score prediction. Saints taking on West Ham. This is our penultimate game. West Ham just really picking up some form now. And I think I've touched on it last prediction when I said Jared Bowen looks to really be picking up some form again. He is picking up form once again. Skamaka looking like a hell of a player. He's finding his feet in the English league. And he could have come up against the Saints team, which a bit like Wolves, I really worry for this season. You do wonder how long Ralph Hasenhüttl is going to be able to last in a job. I can only back the away team. I'm sorry, I can. And I think I'm going to actually go for a 2-0 victory for West Ham in this one. I can only see it going one way at the moment.
I agree. Southampton are a funny club because they can lose like 9-0 and lose to all the team. But it wouldn't surprise me if they beat West Ham 3-0. They're just one of those teams, aren't they? Every year they somehow pull it out the bag. But this weekend I am going to go West Ham. And I think they're going to get it done quite convincingly. They've got the stride now. I'm going to say 3-0. I just got no faith in the Saints at the moment. Sorry, Saints fans out there. 3-0 West Ham. Last but certainly not least, the game of the weekend. In the last 5-6 years, this has been game of the season. Probably not now. Liverpool versus Man City. It's not a title deciding fixture like it has been over the last 4 or 5 years. Liverpool just, my word, 10th, 10 points. And then you look at City, 33 goals in 9 games. Haaland has 15. It's not just at the start of the season, people putting up comparisons of Nunes and Haaland, who scores more. My word, Jesus. I think City get this done. It's that I would have said like a 3-4-0 if this was at City. It's at Liverpool. And I know they've got injuries and I know they're not in form. The fans will get behind them. I'm going to give City the win, but I don't think they blow them away. I'm going to say 2-0.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting one because Liverpool, this is kind of last chance saloon if they really want to be within the title race. I think you've got to bear in mind if they beat City and the game in hand, they win that. They're only 7 points then, which at this stage of the season isn't the end of the world, but a lot saying they're already out of it. I am going to say, though, that I don't think they'll win this, but we know Liverpool has still got the goals. I think it's more their defensive issues, so I'm going to go 4-2 to City. I think it's going to be a bit of a high-scoring one. Guys, let us know your predictions as always. Please do hit that like button. Please do subscribe. And remember, download the OneFootball app. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Goodbye.